To avoid NAT configuration problems, keep these key suggestions in mind. First, make sure that you use the IP NAT inside and IP NAT outside interface subcommands to configure the inside and outside part of NAT. While configuring static NAT, we need to make sure that we have first provided the inside local address and then the inside global address with the IP NAT source static command. While configuring dynamic NAT, we need to ensure that an IP access list is configured for filtering packets that come from the inside host. The access list should be configured before any NAT translations have started. And remember, that access list is going to determine which packets match the requirements to actually need NAT translation. In case dynamic NAT does not support port address translation or PAT, we need to make sure that there are sufficient IP addresses in the pool. We can identify the problem of lack of IP addresses by looking at the second misses counter in the output of the show IP statistics command. It shows us any time a request was made for a global IP address when one was not available. While configuring PAT, it is possible that we may forget to include the overload option with the IP NAT inside source list command. This means that the router on the network will support NAT and not PAT. Consequently, the source IP of packets will not be translated and the connection to the internet will be interrupted. There may be instances where we've configured NAT correctly, but the packets are being discarded because of a rule in the access list. This might create a problem because ACLs are processed before NAT, when packets enter an interface, and after NAT, when packets exit the interface. It is also possible that the real cause of NAT problems on one router is some other router. In NAT, the destination address of packets from the outside interface of NAT needs to be translated before they can be routed to the inside interface of NAT. This means that if the NAT configuration on our router looks fine, we need to look at the NAT router routes and other router routes to ensure that packets can be forwarded using correct addresses on both sides of NAT.